How you doing guys, this is Chris, your flight director. Thank you very much for joining me here today. As we are waiting for sun to go up, please sit down, relax, and I will brief you quickly what's our plan for today. In our last episode we departed from the beautiful village of Ambunti. Okay, this is fine. Let's release our parking brake. "65 knots, rotate." And after being forced to go around, at the second attempt we were able to land here in Mumbil Airstrip. Would you like some burgers or eggs? I've got plenty. This dog over there came from Mumbil village. He already had 3 burgers and 2 eggs. He's not getting any more. Anyway, once it's gonna get bright enough, we're gonna load our Kodiak 100 with coffee and we are flying to Duranmin Airstrip. Duranmin is a small village with population of 300 people and they are in need of coffee. So this is our job for today. I've already prepared flight plan for today's flight. Distance to Duranmin Airstrip from here is 76 miles and it should take us around 30 minutes to get there. Okay, sun is up, it's already bright enough for our departure. Let's pack this up and let's get out of here. Okay, we are inside of our airplane. Obviously, the flight is done in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Our airplane is Kodiak 100 and we are using NEOFLY with today's flight to have a purpose. Okay, let's jump into NEOFLY. There was a small change of plans. Yesterday, they wanted coffee. Today, they've changed their mind and they want the beer. So we've loaded 50 boxes of beer right here. And it's a sensitive cargo, so we need to be careful with it. Let's open our fuel tanks. Let's push in our firewall shutoff. Let's move this out of the way for now. Let's turn on our battery master, our avionics. Let's turn on our screen in our G1000. Let's turn on our fuel pump, ignition, and let's do low start. Our energy is rising. It's already above 14%. Let's introduce our fuel.
Everything looks good from where I'm sitting. Taxi to the runway and take off.
Our ITT spiked, everything looks fine. Let's turn off our starter. Let's turn off our ignition. Let's put our fuel pump into standby position. Let's turn on our auxiliary bus. Let's turn on our generator and alternator and let's push our prop fully forward. Today we are flying with live weather. We have 21 degrees outside. Let's turn on our air conditioning. Let's set this to 21 degrees as always. This is done. Let's turn down the fans so they won't be as loud. No, that's not the fans. Here the fans. That's done. Let's put our destination into our G1000. That's done. Our altimeter is 29901. Our cruising altitude for today is gonna be 11,000 feet. Let's set this up. And our initial heading is gonna be 105. We're gonna climb today with flight level change. With a speed of 95 knots. Let's set our trims, set our rudder trim. Kodiak 100 always needs the right rudder, and forward pitch trim. Rudder trim is done. Let's set our pitch trim. Let's push it forward. Our center of gravity today is 30%, so that should be fine. Let's turn on our lights. Let's turn on our show light, navigation light, taxi, even a landing light, because pretty much on the runway. Now in this stage we can check our controls. Let's put our input viewer on our screen. This is a very handy tool. See how jittery this is with the full inputs. It wasn't even in the center. That's why I always telling you guys to check this. This looks good. That's fine. Now we are pretty much ready to taxi. Let's release our parking brake and let's head to our runway. I can tell you this is one very bumpy runway. Okay, let's stop here at our parking brake. Now in this stage we can lower our flaps. Takeoff position, push our conditioning lever to full idle. It's nice if I remember stuff. Okay, so today is 21 degrees and we are 3,200 feet above sea level. So we're looking into this line here, 20 degrees, 3000. So our maximum torque is going to be 1620. We're going to take 50 out of that, so that's going to be around 1570, 1550 of our maximum torque, and our takeoff speed, our liftoff speed is going to be 65 knots. So let's do our last checks. Okay, there's one more thing we can actually do our harness. So our lights are on, everything is on. We're not going to use pitot heat, we're not going to use bypass. We have our G1000 set up, altitude is set, our air conditioning is set, our flaps are set, our conditioning lever is full idle. Okay, so our plan is, once we're gonna take off, we're gonna keep to the left of this mountain over there in the front of us. Once we're gonna be above 85 knots, we're gonna reduce force notch of flaps. Once we're gonna be climbing safely and we're gonna be above 95 knots, we're gonna reduce our flaps completely. Then we're gonna engage our autopilot. Okay, here we go, guys. 90. This is perfect. Let's release our parking brake. Airspeed's alive. Very bumpy. 50 knots. 65 knots, rotate.
Enjoy your personal flight, pilot. You can search for more jobs after you land.
This is 85 knots. Let's reduce force notch of flaps. Trim our aircraft.
500.
This is very dangerous terrain, guys. 15, okay, we're above 95 and we're climbing safely. Let's reduce our flaps completely. It's safe to make a right turn above this mountain. Let's do it. Give him right rudder. Pretty good with our heading. Let's engage our autopilot. Okay, let's turn off my head tracking. In this stage we can turn off taxi light, we can turn off landing light. Now let's reduce our torque. Always need to reduce torque first before you pull your RPM, because torque spikes every time you reduce your RPM. Now let's pull back our RPM back to 2000. It's looking good. Now we can unlock our harness, if I could see it. We're gonna have to pretty much fly in this valley right here, then make a left sharp turn, then pretty much we need to fly just above this river right here and fly straight into our runway. This is only one way to land, we cannot land from the other side, and there's probably no go around, I'm not sure, and this is going to be very, very dangerous. This is beauty of flying in Papua New Guinea, guys. Let's only hope the weather is going to be good and visibility will be good, because you know, flying the live weather, it's not really live, it's basically historical weather, so you cannot check the weather right now. This is kind of downside of live weather in Microsoft Flight Simulator, unfortunately, but we'll do our best to land it safely. Guys, this is going to be very difficult landing because we are very heavy. I'm not sure about the wind and it's a very tricky approach, but as you know, we are keeping real on this channel, so no matter how it's going to be, you will see it. Duranmin elevation is 2,869 feet, so let's set this to 4,300 feet just to be safe. And pretty much we can start our descent. And guys, our plan is pretty much to fly to the right of it, around it, and fly back, as you could see in a little nav map. Guys, if you tried, I don't know if you tried to fly in Papua New Guinea, but this is no joke. Just all that terrain around, and there's no help. Basically, you have to do it yourself. You have to figure out your runways, you have to figure out your approach, because if you fly with GPS, you're done. You have to plan pretty much every turn, every approach. This is beauty of Microsoft Flight Simulator in Papua New Guinea. That's why I love it. Okay, let's push our prop fully forward. Also, we can turn on our landing lights, lock our harness. Now let's make a left turn, because this is our valley right here in front of us. Try to slow down. So I believe, if you can see end of this mountain right there, we need to turn left, just right here towards our destination. Guys, this is exciting actually. Okay, let's lower our first touch of flaps. Give a bit more power now. The one thing I'm afraid of, once I disconnect autopilot, when I touch my trim, the aircraft is going to jump up or down, because the autopilot is, the trim is set by autopilot, and my trim on my yoke is set to different position, and this is always a problem after disconnecting autopilot. I don't know if you have the same problem, but this is quite annoying for me. We could actually start our turn, but I want to give it a little bit more time to descend, because I think we're a little bit too high. Okay, let's lower our second notch of flaps. That little ding dong thing was because I was 1 knot over the maximum speed limit for flaps. Okay, let's disconnect our autopilot. And now I'm gonna touch the trim. Bang, it goes up all the way. So it looks like we are quite low, but the elevation of this airport is 2,800 feet. We are 3,800, and we have still 1,000 to go. I think I can see the runway. Is this the runway right there? No, it's not. I think this might be one of the toughest approaches I've done in Papua New Guinea so far.
500. 500.
Yeah, this is the runway. Okay.
500. 500. 500.
Guys, wish me luck. Guys, this terrain is very close to us. This is very difficult approach. Let's slow down a tiny bit more. Look at them trees, how close they are. Oh, I'm stalling. I cannot see anything.
Stop.
Let's go. Another successful landing, guys. Let's go. What an amazing approach this was. Guys, make sure to subscribe and do not miss upcoming adventures. And if you enjoyed this video, please watch this video when I got caught up in the storm with Pilatus Porter PC6. I'm sure you will like it. I'm gonna park our Kodiak 100 and get ready for our next flight. I will speak to you very soon, guys. I appreciate you being here. Goodbye.